Let's do this! Hello. Hi, Ritchie. How are you doing? I can't hear Ritchie. Sorry. I think he's still muted. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us to this pre-show to get us all warmed up and ready for the show. What an amazing collection of images this was. I am always amazed and so grateful when I see the collection of all the images that you share and upload. So it's absolutely wonderful to be able to feast our eyes on these images as they, scroll past. So thank you for making the time to upload them and for playing around with the recipe. How has that been for you? Whoever's watching, maybe you want to share with us what you thought. We will ask this question again also during the main show. Just while Richie's getting ready here, I'm holding the fort. And Philip Garcia is here. Hello, Philip. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you back. Thank you also for always submitting images. That's fabulous. How are you doing there, Ritchie? Have we got you with voice now? I believe you muted yourself. Can you just double check? I think he's no. It says it says by us that you have muted yourself. So just double check there again. No. He says it is us who muted ourselves. So let's just double check. He sent a message. Can I just say to the technical team that it says that he is in the green room? So maybe we need to let him in. Well, this is why we have the pre-show. Firstly, we want to have a casual chat with everyone and to make sure that everyone has time to get in the swing of things. And that includes us, I believe, because we need to. So, Ritchie, just a message from the technical team. The console apparently says that you have muted yourself. So just double check that for us, please. Okay. Björn is here with us. He is in Bangkok today. Björn is the eternal traveler and photographer. He's got the dream job, clearly. It's so nice of you to join us. Thank you so much for making time during all your travels. He is locked down in a hotel room. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Well, but that means that you can join us. So we will keep you company while you're locked down there. So thank you for joining us. It's fabulous to have you. It's wonderful from everyone to join us today. Thorsten's also here. Hello from Marbach in Germany. That's absolutely fabulous. It's great that you're all making time, and it's great to have you here in the pre-show already. It's absolutely wonderful. I think we had a try the last month for the first time, and it was still very new, and everybody, is getting used to coming online a little bit earlier. We just thought we want to also chat a little bit without having our agenda of going from one topic to the next. And we want to connect with you because the show is really about you and about the things you experience with the recipes. And there is our Pieranti from Rio de Janeiro.
Can you hear me now?
Ritchie flying in. Hello, Ritchie. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yay!
Yay! I had to leave and then come back.
Yes,
Apparently it froze up or something.
Yeah, sorry. We saw you flying in and flying out and coming back. So
yeah, I was having to play charades. I'm not very good at that game. So
sorry about that.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, we've been chatting a little bit to the audience already. So now it's your turn, Ritchie. You can also give your hellos. There's a number of people who are there already. I've just mentioned that it's fabulous that we have so many people already on the pre-show.
Oh yeah, and all over the world, Bangkok and Germany and South Africa and several places in the United States. I saw Tennessee, San Francisco,
and there's
Phoenix,
Kendra from San Francisco Bay. That's
Hello.
we are all over the place again, which is just absolutely wonderful. It's mind blowing,
It's
and it just
amazing.
doesn't get old. Hey, it doesn't get old.
No. Hello, Randy. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. So we are here. I must admit, I find this countdown a little bit daunting. We have 15 minutes before we actually go live on the show.
Yeah.
But we want to ask and answer a few questions. And here's Thomas Knoll. He asked this just now, and I said to him that we will address his question. So we saw all those beautiful Tri-X 400 images, and he said that he was shooting different recipes. And I guess he found that maybe Tri-X 400 looks a little bit darker. I think what he means is maybe more contrasty than Acros.
It's
What would
meant to
you say?
have. It's meant to have like the deep dark blacks of Tri-X film. So if you've ever shot Tri-X, a lot of it so much depends on how it was shot and developed. There's a lot you can do in the darkroom with any film, Tri-X in particular. But a lot of people who've shot it know that it is known for its deep blacks, and so that's what the recipe is supposed to mimic as well.
Yes, so a great question to get us started. I have also a question. I would love to shoot to the audience because we've prepared a trivia question because we want to expand your knowledge of photography in a playful kind of way. And I've come across this cute little trivia game that I've found online, and I decided that I want to ask a question every month in the pre-show. So I'm going to go straight ahead. I'm going to choose one quickly so that we don't run out of time. Ritchie, if you don't mind, I'm going to read this quickly to you. The question that I want to ask everyone is, which side of your face is considered your good side? So these are general photography questions of all kinds, some more serious than others. And there is a rule that's more portrait photography related, which side in general of a person's face is considered the good side. And while you're thinking about that, you can shoot us what you think is the right answer in the comments. We also have a hello from Jason. Hello from the UK.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm just going to ask you, Ritchie, what do you think is considered our good side?
Mine is the backside. The backside is my best side.
Here's Thomas. Yeah, he clearly spent his day diving into black and white today. He shot a little bit of Ilford today, he says, and thinks it's
I used to shoot a lot of Ilford Delta 100 and 400. That was my go-to film, 20 years ago.
Yes. So if anyone in the audience has an idea, just let us know. You have two choices. It's either the left or the right side. So just
not the back.
No, the back side is not an option. Okay, and Björn says you can use sign language. So
that would have been helpful if I had.
Yes.
I guess I should have practiced before the show.
another talent we can add to the many talents that we can develop before we get to the end of the year. Eva is here from Texel in the Netherlands. Eva has also uploaded some images, so thank you so much for your contribution. It's been fabulous.
And the pictures are so great in the slideshow. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yes, it's wonderful when you see like them all coming together, and it's a like one theme and what people make of it, and what I absolutely love is to get a view into everyone's lives and their worlds and where they stay, what they photograph, what captures their eyes. I think it's absolutely it's a treat for us, right? to see
Yeah,
it.
a treat and a privilege, you know.
Yes, yeah. Just like Caroline as well, she submitted a couple of pictures. Hi there, back to you to Israel.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us again. And here we have Tarzan Terrier, clearly a dog lover. Hello, back to you
Yep.
to Oslo. Thank you so much for being with us. And we've got lots of other viewers here. Let me just move this here a little bit. Sorry.
From Alaska. Hello.
Alaska. Wow, phenomenal. I'm sure you are looking forward to the end of winter. And William is here from Ohio. Hi, William. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us. William reached out the other day. Thank you for your comment. And to everyone, thank you so much for being here with us. We couldn't do this without you. So it's absolutely
Yeah. And we do this
fabulous.
for you. So if you have a question,
Yes.
be sure to ask it. You know, we would love to answer it.
Yes, absolutely. I believe there's no one coming up with any answers. Is that right? We don't have anyone who wants to give it a try. Well, Ritchie, now that you know it's not the backside, do you want to give it another shot?
How about I'm trying to think of myself. You know, I'm not sure. I'm going to say right side, but I don't know.
So
I really don't know the answer to this.
while Ritchie is contemplating, audience, everyone who is watching, give it a shot. We have another couple
Wild
of
guess.
minutes. Yes, give us your wildest guess and let us know in the comments what you think is considered your good side, which means which side is the one that would look better if a portrait is taken that is not only your face, it is everyone's face. Apparently, this is something that we share as unique as we all are as humans. We all have a good and a not so good side. Here, Philip, thank you.
Yay.
Philip thinks it's the right side. What did you decide now, Ritchie? Did you settle on your right side or the left?
I said right side. I really
right
don't
side.
know the answer to this.
Okay,
I guess if I was a portrait photographer, it would be important to know this.
Yeah. Well, you can now after we've solved this question. So it's this or this one. And that then in between, we give you a couple more minutes. We have a question from Usman. He says, what's your favorite recipe with auto white balance? Looking for an
Ooh, that's a good
recipe.
question. Of course, we don't know what camera we're talking about here. Like, there's different recipes for different generations. I'm gonna pull up the Fuji X Weekly app on my. I got my phone here. I'm gonna pull up the Fuji X Weekly app.
Good
and I'm
choice.
I'm gonna filter by white balance. I can tell you that probably my favorite uses auto white priority, and it's the Fuji Color Super HG V2. But and that's for just like the very newer cameras, the XT4 and newer. But if we were just go by white balance here instead of auto white priority, and then I'm going to do color because I assume we're not talking about black and white. Let's see what our options are. It's quite a few. You know, Velvia V2 is a good one that I'm seeing in here. Kodak Ultramax 400, I like that one. So those are some good choices. I would say those or Eterna is a good one. Color Negative 400, I like that one a lot.
Can I add
so
one?
there's some good choices. Sure.
One that we started off with last year in episode number kind of like 1 and 2 was Kodachrome 2, which is what I absolutely loved. So that is also one that shoots with auto white balance. I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great option.
So many choices.
Many choices. So if you got the app and you got the patron subscription, you know, you can search, you can filter it by your camera and by the white balance, and you can find all your options.
Okay, we have a comment from Caroline. She says that she found that the grain size causes the facial features not to be so sharp when she shoots with the grain large. and big. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
some
So
interesting feedback.
it overlays, the fake grain over top of the picture. Basically, is what happens. In Acros, the Fujifilm tried to kind of blend it real well in there. But yeah, it definitely adds a splotchiness, similar to film.
Hmm.
I remember when I would print, uh, in the dark room, you would have like a microscope, and you would actually look at the print as you're projecting down, and focus it to where you could actually see the grain. It wasn't blurry and stuff. So
Yes. Yeah. Great. I'm not going to let you guys go. So let's settle this once and for all. Björn says he happened to be left-handed and would be interesting to hear how many people are left-handed. Seems to have something to do with being artistic. Yes, absolutely. What a fabulous comment. I'm going to get back to that. But Eva also thinks it's the right side. So let's conclude this question because I put it away. Let's just see if that was.
Oh, you don't know the answer?
I do. I peeped. The word is short, and I saw it. And surprise, surprise, it is the left side.
The left side,
So,
okay.
You have learned something today, everyone. Everyone who's guest, thank you very much for playing with us, just for fun. And yeah, and it's the left side, and you can remember that the left side and the artistic side are on the same side of the body, and that's the left. And then we have Tarzan Terrier, who's asking one question before the show starts. I found a recipe I want to try out, but it says it's supposed to be shot at 1.5 to 2 stops overexposed. I use the dial, not the EV.
Oh, that would have to be a typo if that says 1.5. It's probably supposed to say 1 1/3. If you could let us know which recipe that is, I definitely would want to get that fixed. But I would say it's 1 1/3, not 1.5.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm sure it's just a typo. I'm not perfect. I try to be, but I make mistakes sometimes.
We are all human.
Yeah.
We are all human. Okay. Oh, hello, Neil. Thank you so much for tuning in. Neil is a good friend of ours from South Africa, so here's a big shout out to him. I've been telling him all this time because I think this show is really great for him as well. He must join us, but he's got a little child that distracts him a lot in the evening. So thank you for making time. Sorry, Yvonne, that you being left. Maybe you're also watching. Thank you. And I have begged him to please also share some of his pictures. And he did so this morning. And I was really happy to see them. But unfortunately, this morning was just cutting it too short for us. We were not able to include them anymore in the slideshow. So I'm sorry about that. We will try better next time. We'll get there. I will just pester you from earlier on in the month. All right. And otherwise, Ritchie, I think it's time for us to wrap it up so that we can get ready for the show.
The show starts here in just over a minute.
Yes,
I'm excited.
Yes. We can't avoid to see that it starts just now. So if everyone is ready for it, you still have time if you want to invite some of your friends and let them know that we are just about to go live. The more the merrier. You can share it on all the platforms, as you know. And yeah, we will see you just now. And can't wait to do this.
See you on the flip side.
See you on the flip side, exactly. And everyone, don't go anywhere. We'll see you just now.
Let's do this!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of SOOC, where we talk about everything and anything straight out of camera. My name is Nathalie, and I'm your host for today's show. And we are looking at straight out of camera JPEGs. We are talking about recipes that we have were contributed by Ritchie Roesch from Fuji X Weekly. Everyone who's just been in the pre-show, thank you so much for sticking around. Everyone who's joined us just now, welcome to the show. We are talking about film recipes. This show is all about getting you shooting JPEGs straight out of camera so that you can spend more time shooting and less time editing. We are talking about this with none other than Ritchie Roesch from Fuji X Weekly, and I'm connecting with him from here in Johannesburg in South Africa, and Ritchie is joining us from Salt Lake City in the States of America. And here he is. Hello, Ritchie. Welcome to the
Hello.
show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. There's a street sweeper right outside the window here. Just kind of unusual odds of that happening. I think I've seen one once since I've lived here, and it just so happens right at the beginning of the show. There he goes.
Yes, of course. I don't think we can really hear him, so that's cool.
Okay,
but
that's good.
I'm glad that things are being cleaned and swept
You're
here.
cleaning up the streets.
That's fabulous. Fabulous. Oh, it's so good to be back here again. And I want to give a big shout out to the audience. There are quite a few that have already joined us in the pre-show. And
Yes.
hopefully didn't go anywhere. So, we want to welcome everyone. We want to know if you are new to the show, if it's your first time that you're watching, let us know in the comments. If you've been here before, if maybe you've watched every episode, let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to connect and hear if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if there's anything that you want to share with us. We are here for you to give you a platform to exchange a little bit of information regarding, lots regarding the recipes that none other than Ritchie has created. But, anything that you feel like relates to shooting straight out of camera. So we're here for you, right, Ritchie?
Yep, we are here for you guys, the audience, and so this is your opportunity to ask us a question. If you don't want to do it during the show, you can reach out to us at any time and ask away, and we just love to help you out.
Exactly. That's why we're here. That's how we roll.
Yep.
Fantastic. So I think we can dive straight in. We have a goal of finishing the show before 8 o'clock. So let's go right ahead, shall we? We introduced this last episode, but just in case you missed it, we've changed a few things in this show format. So we've started with the pre-show. We are just a bit more, open, and we've got time to ask questions. So if you have any burning issues that you think are maybe not related exactly to the show, pop into the pre-show and ask away right there. And but there's more changes.
And then, yep. So we've been getting so many submissions from you guys, which is a wonderful problem to have. We just love seeing your pictures. But because we're getting so many, we can't show them all during the show. So we're putting them in a slideshow in the pre-show and also showing them after the show. And we'll have a standalone video pretty quickly up that shows everyone's submissions. The good thing about this is that we get to show everything to you guys. But during the show, we will be showing fewer pictures that are submitted to us, just the selection.
Exactly. Also, what we've changed a little bit, you will see that the show's now called after the recipe that we're introducing you in the show. We feel we want to put the emphasis on the new recipe so that we can share most of the tips and tricks and things that are important about the recipe that we are introducing so that you have the month to really focus on shooting great pictures with all the information that you've got from this show. So this show, you will see we are wrapping up TriX400, which we introduced in last episode, and introducing and focusing more, spending more time on the new recipe. And that's why the episode is called Kodak Vision3 250D.
Yep. And then, in the last episode, we had a guest. That was our first time, and we want to do that moving forward. Is to have you guys join us on the show to talk about stuff. It doesn't have to be a lengthy interview or anything like that, and it might sound scary to go live, but we'll do what we can to make it an easy process for you and to make you as comfortable as possible. But we would love any of you in the audience, if you're interested in joining us live in a future episode, just reach out to us. We would love to have you on.
Yes, we want you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yes. Well, it's live. I guess it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because you never quite know what can happen. But it would be great fun. We know you all have a story to tell. You all have something to share. So we would love to hear from you.
Yep. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Yes. There we go. We've got some news for you. We have news, some really exciting stuff happening on the Fujifilm global platform. We are celebrating 10 years of X-Mount. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen this already on social media. This started at the beginning of the year. It's a celebration in the launch of the X-Pro 1, which was launched exactly 10 years ago. And to celebrate this, there's a whole year where Fujifilm wants to get images from you that you shot on your X-mount camera, and you are invited to share those images with the hashtag 10 years of X-mount. And you can share them on all the platforms, and there is a chance that you get featured, that your images will get shared by Fujifilm. So if you haven't yet, go to the Fujifilm Global Instagram and Facebook, and you can check out more there. It's also listed on their website. And what I think is, again, divine intervention is that this month's theme, so they have a theme every month that they invite you to shoot. And this month's theme is your favorite film simulation. And I just couldn't resist. I'm like, okay, this month we need to talk about this because it's clearly directed at us. So we can let you know that this is what's happening. And you can.
So Nathalie, what is your favorite film simulation?
Oh my goodness. What is my favorite film simulation? I think I've asked you this like right in the beginning when we first started, and you said, well, it's like asking you which one is your favorite child.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm starting to feel a little bit like that as well. I looked the other day through, the months past that I've shot with different recipes, and I'm like, oh yeah, this was really good. Oh, I like those images. And then I moved to the next one, and it's like, that was also really nice. So it's getting more and more difficult as you bond with one recipe after the next. I do love Kodachrome because it's kind of like where I started on my journey. So I've got a very soft spot for Kodachrome and all the different forms and variation, I guess. But yeah, maybe that is mine. I don't know what the viewers feel. It's a really great question. What is your favorite film simulation? What have you been shooting with? What do you really like? Please let us know. Yes. And share those images on social media and hashtag them with 10 years of X-mount. And this is not all. We thought a wonderful way to get you to sharing more images with us is that we ask you which. So let me get this right. I've practiced. Okay, we want to know from you which is the image that you shot first on your first Fujifilm camera, and you looked at it and you went, ooh, yes, yeah, this is exactly the photo. This is the reason why I got this camera. Or I'm like, yeah, this is what I enjoy. Or like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just took this picture. I don't know. How did you feel when you took this beautiful night shot on the left here?
So it was a little less than 6 years ago that I got my first Fujifilm camera. It was an XE1, and about a week and a half after I got it, I went downtown. It was just right in the blue hour, and I wanted to do some high ISO kind of photography because I had known from reading articles and magazines and such that the X-Trans sensor was particularly good for high ISO. And so I took that picture. It's in Ogden, Utah, of a neon sign. And I was just really impressed by how it handled the high ISO, how it handled the lights and everything and the colors. It was not a film simulation recipe. That was before I was making film simulation recipes. But it was featured in an article by Atlas Obscura a little while later. So that was really neat. And that was my first like significant wow kind of picture captured with the Fujifilm camera about 10 days or so after I got it in the mail.
It's a brilliant photograph. I absolutely love it. These colors are super vibrant. And to think that this was shot, probably with quite high ISO is.
Yeah, that was on the first generation of X-Trans,
yes.
Basically a camera that's now 10 years old.
Yeah. Fabulous. Excellent. Yes. And also I wanted to share what brought me to this was I got the camera, and straight away also it was like, so my first camera was an X100S that I got in 2013, and we went on a family holiday, and I was very restricted when it came to packing gear and not something that I used to enjoy very much in those days. But I got the camera and I said, what the heck, let me go cold turkey and let me only go with this camera and see. And it wasn't a few days later that we were in Sossusvlei in Namibia, which is a desert area. And you need to go in there and you walk up these dunes as you see there in this image. And as you can imagine, it's hot. So it was the most liberating experience I had. And I really enjoyed this image in particular, just to get something, without having to lug a lot of gear around. And there were so many moments on this trip that I thought, well, why did I ever take so many cameras and lenses with me and lug around when it can be so easy? So that was just, absolutely mind-blowing for me. And yeah, I guess that was my my step where I'm like, I've never looked back since. And
that X100 series is incredible for travel. I mean, it might be the perfect travel camera.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. And so, yes, we want to know from you what your experience was. So just like, you've seen from us, we would love to get you to upload your images. You know where to upload them. You can upload them in exactly the same place. As always, use the same link. Just tag your image in the title, name it with the hashtag 10 years of X-Mount, and tell us your story. Come on the show and let us know what your story was, how you got into Fujifilm, what got you hooked, what you enjoyed the most. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who've got wonderful stories that you can tell us, and we want to hear them. You have got plenty of time. You know how to get hold of us, and we can't wait to hear from you.
We're so much looking forward to seeing your pictures and hopefully getting at least one of you to, join us live. That'd be amazing to tell us your story,
Yes, exactly. We will get you one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's someone who's got a story already, a snippet that they want to share with us, you're more than welcome to pop them in the comments now. We would love to hear them. Like I said, I'm sure there's plenty of stories out there. Otherwise, share an image with us and we will share them in the next show. There is William. He says, I have a possession of my grandfather's Kodachrome slides. I jumped into Fuji to try and revisit that through the recipes. Fabulous.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a box similar to that of just my grandfather's old Kodachrome slides from the 60s and 70s, and probably some going back to the 1950s. And yeah, it's fun to go through those.
Yes. It's brilliant. Yeah, so if you have some of these stories, share them with us. Thank you so much, William. That was really nice. We have more news. And
Yay.
as always, the man who never sleeps. I don't know, he must be writing in his sleep or something, or he's got a thought to voice to type machine of some sort, or a clone, that he manages to create so many beautiful articles. And I came across this, and I'm sure followers of his blog have seen this as well. It's part of the collective creative, and I just wanted to point that out because that's something that you do on top of the recipes. You also write some creative, inspirational posts where you share some different ways you can up your photography and keep it interesting. And
yeah, so about I don't know, maybe back in December or so, I started making extra articles, writing even more than I was normally writing, and these bonus articles called Creative Collective, and a lot of them are just kind of going deeper, going down rabbit holes and that kind of stuff to try and become more creative as a photographer. And it's $2 a month to join the Creative Collective and get access to the bonus articles, and have a monthly zine that I publish. That's part of it. And so this article is one of those articles. It's actually the 21st such article, and I talk about the Acros edition of my X100V. And not to get too deep into it, but it's basically shooting black and white only with my Fujifilm camera.
Yes, it's a fabulous idea. It's brilliant. It sounds very tempting. I will definitely give something like this a try. Maybe not as extensive, but let's see. If you feel like it, give it a try. It sounds like lots of fun. Björn is saying that he rented an X Pro 1 10 years ago for 3 days. And after the first day, I bought my first X series. Yeah, it just happens like that. It happens to all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, once you get that in your hand and the dials and everything, it's so wonderful. You know, it's really magical because it just brings you back to those days where you're shooting film and you're using all manual, and you can have that same experience with your modern digital camera. It's just amazing.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of getting your camera in your hand, I've got a practical tip that I would like to share with everyone. And that came from really this recipe, Tri-X 400, that but Ritchie, you recommend that you shoot this in the more higher ISO region to get this grain really juicy into your photographs. And I thought it would be a great idea to just share with you how you can make sure that you shoot in those high ISO ranges if you wish to choose so. So I asked Ritchie if he wouldn't mind to just talk us through this. I've got my X-T3 here to be able to demonstrate that with you. And we're going to look at the camera menu. And then I'm going to ask Ritchie just to talk us through this, please.
Yeah, so it's really great that you can get like this grainier image by shooting high ISO. A lot of people avoid high ISO, but I think that you can get some really beautiful results when you do bump that up. So that's what this recipe does. So a lot of people have questions about how to program that in, and you'll find in the third menu, the camera menu is where the ISO settings are. So we'll go to that, and then it's on the second page. And then you have ISO auto setting. You select that, and whichever auto you want to choose, auto 1, auto 2, auto 3, pick the one you want. We can go with auto 1, and then you're going to pick your default sensitivity. So we're going to start there. That's the minimum ISO. So select that, and we're going to put it up to 1600 as the minimum ISO that the camera will choose. So there's 1600. We'll select that, and then we'll select the maximum sensitivity, and we can put that select that, and then we can put it up to 6,400 or 12,800 or whatever you want as the maximum. So we'll select 6,400, and then you hit back to exit, and you'll hit back again, and now you have auto 1 selected with the ISO between 1600 and 6400.
Fabulous. It's
It's
as
that
easy
simple.
as that. And then you can shoot, and you know that your images will always be in the higher grain area and will give you better results, or you can at least give it a try and see how you like it. And the one thing that I also wanted to just let you know is it's possible if you shoot in daylight that you will have to shoot with your electronic shutter or with the manual and electronic shutter to make sure that your camera can keep up with all that light coming in.
And that's what I personally do, is both mechanical and electronic. And the camera will choose the mechanical shutter when it can, but when it needs to use the electronic shutter, it'll just automatically switch to it.
Exactly. Excellent. We have more things to share with you, and I would like to move on to recipes for street photography. This month, Ritchie has selected a couple of recipes that he suggests are really good for street photography. There are many, many to choose from, and we limit it to 3 so that you have a good base where you can start off with to choose. If you hit in the streets and you're stuck for a recipe, you can choose one of those. So the first one that we wanted to look at was Agfa Ultra 100. Ritchie, what made you choose this recipe?
So I use this one in downtown Salt Lake City and just really love the results. It does need a newer X-Trans camera, X-Trans 4 with the classic negative film simulation. So if you have X Pro 3 or newer, you can use this recipe. And but I just love the results when I used it in an urban environment doing street photography. It just has a really good classic vintage analog look to it.
Yes, and the colors are also really nice and punchy. I believe, especially the blues are really, really coming through there. But unfortunately, this is only available for the newer cameras. But you don't need to worry. We've got you covered. We have another recipe. If you're shooting on a different sensor, you could possibly choose something like Eterna.
So this recipe is a modification of the Eterna recipe for the XT3 and XT30, which actually uses Eterna. This recipe gives pretty much the same results, but using pro negative standards. So anybody with an X-Trans 3 camera that does not have Eterna can use this recipe. If you're shooting with the XT3 or XT30, you can use this recipe, or you can use the other version that actually uses the Eterna film simulation. The results are very similar either way.
And this recipe gives you a really pleasing look. It's it's a little bit more on the warm side, I think, and
Yes.
doesn't have as much contrast because it is Eterna after all. But I really enjoy this a lot. It's really nice, and it's a zhuzhed up version of the Eterna that you get straight out of your camera normally.
So if you don't have the Eterna film simulation, but you want to get results similar to that, this is a great recipe to try for that, and it does great in like downtown urban environments.
Yes, definitely give this one a try. Or if you are a really hardcore Fujifilm user and you've started using this a long time ago and you have some of the older model cameras or a camera with a Bayer sensor, you are not being left out because we have a recipe that Ritchie recommends that is classic chrome.
Yeah, so this one was made for the Bayer sensor. I created this on an XF10, but anybody with a Bayer sensor Fujifilm camera can use this recipe. I've also used it on an X-T1 X-Trans 2 sensor, and it looks great on there as well. But where you'll find it on the website is under the Bayer recipes. Classic Chrome. It does great in city and urban environments, street photography. Try it. You're going to love it.
Yes, you should absolutely give any of these recipes a try. So if you are holding a new camera and you want to go punchy on the streets, then try the Acro Ultra 100. If you are shooting on an X-Trans 3 sensor, then you can choose Eterna. Or with a Bayer sensor, you can choose Classic Chrome. There's lots to choose from. Go try it out and let us know and share images and see how you go. However, we have black and white to talk about, and that is the Kodak Tri-X 400 recipe. You've all been shooting for the last couple of weeks and shared beautiful images with us, and we are over the moon, and we want to say thank you once again for sharing those with us. You saw them
They were so
possibly
nice.
in the pre-show. And if not, you will see them again at the end of the show or in the standalone video that we will publish in the next couple of days. We have chosen a few that we think are really outstanding. First, Ritchie and I are sharing two that we wanted to show you, just to point out a few, talents that this recipe has. So over to you, Ritchie.
Yeah, so spring did arrive very briefly before winter decided to come back, and I captured this picture using the Tri-X recipe out in the front yard. The tree is a pear tree, started to bloom, and there's still a little bit of snow on the mountains. But I just love how the recipe, really brings in the contrast, the dark blacks and the bright whites and everything. It can make an image really stand out.
Yes. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit just to get us along, because what I really want is to show everyone what the viewers uploaded. Here's a picture that I shot the other day. I was lucky enough to be in the bush and happened to have a giraffe walk away from me. So I thought that looked really cool in Tri-X 400.
Yeah, it's a really nice picture.
Thank you.
This here is just I don't know what it is, a grass of some sort. And it doesn't look like anything interesting, but just getting that contrast from the Tri-X recipe actually turns it into something interesting.
Yeah, so I think contrast is really what Tri-X 400 is all about. And also in this image, just, the difference between the highlights and the shadows and this beautiful grain are what make this recipe shine a lot. And over to what we've received from some of the viewers. We've selected a few to share with you, just to point out. And I think the first one that we're going to look at is what Ritchie chose.
Yeah, this one is, I just love the contrast and also the composition of this, and putting that crane right in the middle of those branches. And it's almost a silhouette. It just really struck me as an interesting picture.
Yes.
And it makes me wonder: is that crane going to lift up that tree? Or
Yeah. Nature versus the machines.
yeah, it's super interesting.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you, Björn. I really enjoyed this recipe because it's, has quite a bit of humor in it. It's probably, if you live in London, an everyday scene in the underground. But I enjoyed those two youngsters sitting on their skateboards there. So I really enjoyed the capture. A really great example to showcase to always have your camera with you. You never know what you might capture. So Barry, thank you very much for submitting this image.
Then Caroline submitted this one. Some guys playing ball at the on the beach, and just that, and it's all silhouetted, and getting that ball to be right there in the bright spot of the image was a great serendipity. It's a neat picture.
Yes, yeah, it is definitely. And silhouettes is what this recipe is also really useful for. So
Mm-hmm.
well done there, Caroline. Thank you. Oh, Björn also loves this. Thank you, Björn.
Yep.
Great job.
Yeah, and you guys can give us any input you want during this time. We'd love to hear it. Let everybody know what you think of these pictures.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they're amazing photographs, just like,
Mhm.
so many of you have submitted. So we'd love to hear from you. And here is another beautiful one from Enrico. He has captured an amazing scene. To me, it almost looks painterly. It's definitely dreamlike. To put, the seagull right into the scene is absolutely wonderful. And you can see gorgeous grain in the sky that makes me tick, and how the fog lifts there from where the trees are in the distance. I think it's a wonderful image that struck me straight away as it came in. So Enrico, well done. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, I think when I see this picture, I think of like the zone system, Ansel Adams, the zone system and stuff. And you get all those different grays. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then what's interesting is you don't have to put people in your picture to have people in your picture. In this case, it's the shadows, and they look so interesting. It's telling a story that here's this bike ramp, and people on bikes that are apparently going to go on this ramp, but they are already on the ramp. It's kind of in a sense metaphoric and stuff. It's really neat.
Yes, yeah, I love the play on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's everybody else thinking in the audience about these images? Have you been shooting trikes? Have you submitted? Even if you haven't, we don't mind. That's fine. You can, just let us know how you found the recipe, if you've been shooting with it, or what you find really interesting, and how awesome these images are. Big shout out to everyone for submitting these. Great stuff also here from Serge. He submitted this landscape photograph, and it is another one of those just beautifully captured landscapes. The composition is wonderful, and it makes the Tri-X400 stand out a lot. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. I think landscape images in black and white, however paradox that might be, is something that's really wonderful. And if you haven't tried it yet, we hope that you get lots of inspirations from shots like this.
Yeah, it's a very inspiring shot.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that brings us to our last picture, right? Doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And just to let everyone know, we by no means crit your images here. We just simply, we open up the folder where we receive your images in, and, we cast our eyes, and there's so many beautiful ones. And we just pick out some that we want to share with everyone during the show, where we think is something special that was captured with the recipe. And there is always this one that stands out a little bit more, that captures us for whatever reason that is. And this is what we call our featured image. It's simply, a really great capture with this recipe. And this month, we have chosen this photograph by Roger Solbacher, who uploaded this one. And I think the way the light is captured in this image and hits off this coffee shop or whatever this is, I think it's really wonderful. It really captured me straight away.
It's the shapes that you see, the composition, the lighting. It's all comes together really well in this picture, and I love the tree, the branches in it, how they twist and stuff on the left, and how there's just this little hint of light illuminating the building, which is still very dark but stands out amongst the very light background, and then the sign to the right of it. There's a lot to explore when you view this image.
Yes, yeah, absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Well done. Congratulations to everyone. That's been some fabulous submissions. And
thank you for sharing all of those pictures that you shared with us. We enjoy seeing all of them.
Yes, and I'm sure the audience does too.
Yep.
And this concludes our Tri-X 400 an hour first black and white recipe, and we're moving right back into color. And we're not only moving back into color, I am super excited because we're moving into motion picture color. We have chosen Kodak Vision3 250D because it is a recipe that's modeled on actual film for motion pictures for the movies. And whoever is a movie lover in the audience as well, like me, will know that the award ceremonies have come to a close, and that inspired me to look at this recipe a bit more and also compare it with the movies. And as you can see here, there's all these big names of movies coming up with pictures, and something that you may not know is that all these movies that you are looking at here were actually shot on film. Believe it or not, yes, that still happens. All these, and especially Spencer, they were all shot, and not only on film, they were shot on Kodak Vision3 250D. Obviously, there's different films that are being used during an entire movie, but and not even, even something like West Side Story. It was filmed on this. I'm getting super excited because I think it's absolutely wonderful, and I think it's even more wonderful that we get to emulate this kind of look and feel with our film recipe. And I think I want to inspire you to, maybe have a look. Maybe there's some of you are also movie lovers, and maybe you look at movies and see, oh, the scene is really nice. I catch myself a lot lately where I see like, oh, just look at this light. When I watched Spencer, the lighting was just exquisite, and the colors. And so I can't wait to shoot a lot more with this recipe. To get some similar feel from this. Oh.
Yeah, and obviously one film can be shot many different ways, processed many different ways, and like you said, in a movie you typically will use several different emulsions in a movie, and then obviously they control the lighting really well. That's a big thing, and you can do that too. When you're using this recipe, think very carefully about the lighting, what lighting there is naturally, what artificial lighting can you add, and things like that to mimic whatever it is, whatever movie you've seen or something like that you want to recreate.
Yes, exactly. So this is all about inspiring you. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. To go out and shoot different scenes, something new, and maybe watch one or two of these movies. And speaking of movies, we have a video from none other than the man himself, who has created a quick video about this beautiful film simulation recipe, and we will check that out and then check back with you just now.
Hi, it's Ritchie. I'm at the Great Salt Lake Shoreland Preserve in Layton, Utah. I have a Fujifilm GFX 50S with a 23mm lens attached to it. I'm going to program it with a film simulation recipe and shoot some pictures. Based on the lighting and colors that are here right now, I thought the Kodak Vision3 250D film simulation recipe would be a good match for the conditions. I have it right here on the Fuji X Weekly app, and I'm going to load it into the GFX camera. The easiest way to program a film simulation recipe is to press the Q button, and then press and hold the Q button until the Edit Save Custom menu appears. This film simulation recipe is modeled after a daylight cinema film by Kodak. It produces beautiful cyan skies, warm colors, and has great contrast tones. The Kodak Vision3 250D recipe is intended for Fujifilm X-Trans 4 cameras. It is compatible with the GFX 50S, although shadow and color rendition are slightly different on the GFX. For more information, visit FujiXweekly.com. Thanks for watching.
There we go.
A big shout out to my wife, Amanda, for making that video. She's the video person in our family, so she does a great job.
Thank you, Amanda. What a wonderful video indeed, and what a beautiful landscape. And yeah, shooting this with this film recipe is absolutely wonderful. The video is on your YouTube channel, so if you want to indulge in it and watch it again, you can head on over there and have another look. And yes, so I absolutely love the look and feel to this, and it's like you said, Ritchie, it is also a very good recipe for landscapes, especially when you have blue skies and really nice tones that you want to emphasize.
Yeah, it's one of my personal favorite color recipes, and it's good for a lot of different situations and conditions.
Yes, we've also had mentioned it in one of our previous episodes as a, if I remember correctly, as a sunny landscape photography recipe. So it definitely shows off very nicely in those situations. We've prepared a few images, Ritchie and I, and so why don't we have a look at those? Ritchie, I believe this is one of your photos.
Yeah, and it's just you know, an evening shot. Spring is just starting, so there's a little bit of leaves showing up on the trees, and the light's illuminating just the one there. So it's very simple, but that recipe really brings it out.
Yeah, I love the light and the quality of the yellow tones also in this recipe and how it brings it out. I was inspired of some movie, and I was thinking, oh, what if this was a movie about a dog lover who's taking their dog for a walk in the park, somewhere in some tropical area, and tried out this recipe here. And I really enjoy the mood that I get from the image from this recipe.
Yeah, and you really captured a good mood in that. You know, it seems very coastal, even though you don't see any ocean or anything.
No. We're far away from the ocean, and yes, it's not warm. But anyway, over to a different city scene for one of your pictures.
Yeah, so the recipe does really good in urban environments as well. It's just the sign with a little bit of graffiti on it, and then some diagonal light. I just really like the results of it in that situation.
Yes, a lot of things that you're not allowed to do there
Yep.
Yes, and
No, it just does say no fun, is what it should say.
exactly, yes, yeah, and similar here. There is also definitely no going past these cones here, and I just love the light, the sunlight hitting them,
Mhm.
and however scraggly looking they are, just a nice and warm and vibrant. So there's lots of different scenes that you can capture with this recipe.
Yeah, so this one here is in shade. That's my daughter, Joy, dancing along with the dancers on the mural. And you can see how the recipe does in a situation like that where you're not in the sunlight. It's just natural light shade, and it looks really good.
I love this photograph. It's my favorite. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Thank you for sharing that. And then just a little bit of play on, what I'm photographing with, and looking at an old film camera. So I was just playing around with one of my old cameras that I have standing around, and I just really enjoy
Was
it.
that
It's a lot of fun. We hope that you will have a lot of fun with this recipe too. You get to
was that an
see
8mm camera?
I have absolutely no idea, Ritchie.
Okay.
It looks cool. That's all I know.
Yeah, it
I'm not
does.
sure. It's not even one of mine. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but you get shooting with this recipe and
Mhm.
share lots of images as you go along. You have a month to shoot and try out. If at any point you've got questions after the end of the show, please reach out to anyone of us, and we'll help you to get shooting. If you have any questions, please share them with us now. We still have some time to answer your questions. In the meantime, you can screenshot this to make sure that you get the upload link. Although we try to always share that with whatever articles or posts we share in general, to make sure that it's really easy for you to share images, and you've done so very eagerly over these last couple of months, I have to say. So yeah, so the images are due by the 11th of May, just a day before the show, and we can't wait to see what you come up with, isn't it, Ritchie?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see your guys' pictures, what you do with this recipe, the situations you use it in, and yeah, it's one of my favorites. So I'm just really eager to see what you guys do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hope you're excited as well, and
Mhm.
not only excited for this next month of shooting, but everyone who's uploaded their images also automatically enters into our draw, and we are giving away a 12-month subscription of the fabulous Fuji X Weekly app. So we are going to draw a winner every month, and we are going to draw a winner of all the people who submitted their images over this last couple of weeks. And I would like to head on over there, and we have a fabulous wheel. We've entered all your names in there, and we are going to give away a 12-month subscription of the app.
Yeah, and even
So,
if you win and you already have a subscription, we'll work something out. So you'll get something. We'll figure it out.
Yes, just don't stay quiet no matter what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to spin that wheel?
Let's spin it.
Let's spin that wheel, and let's give away a 12-month subscription of Fuji X Weekly. Let's go. Let's hit it. There we go. There we go. All those beautiful submissions are going to Peter Thomas.
Yay!
Congratulations, Peter. Thank you so
Yay,
much
Peter.
for taking part in and uploading your image. You have won a 12-month subscription to Fuji X Weekly. Please do get in touch with us. Like we said,
Yes.
no matter if you already are a patron or not, get in touch with us, let us know, and we will chat to you. So congratulations,
Yep.
and thank you once again for uploading your images.
Mhm.
For everybody else, please don't despair. We will draw another winner next month. So make sure to get shooting to upload your images and to share in it and stand a chance to win a subscription.
Yep. And thanks again, everybody who submitted, and thanks to Peter. Congratulations on your win. And all the past winners and everything. It's a really amazing journey we're on, and I'm so glad that you're joining us on it.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I am delighted and privileged and honored to be sitting here with you, Ritchie, every month, and to get so much of your time. I know you're extremely busy, and now more than ever, and I absolutely love it. And for everyone to tune in every month is also just an absolute feast. I love it. Very grateful and honored that you all tune in every month. If you have any feedback for us, anything that you would like to share with us, please don't hesitate. And remember, we would love to have you as a guest on our show. We would love to hear your story. We would love to hear how you got to shooting Fujifilm, what you do with recipes, what you love most about recipes, or where your passion lies. We'd love to connect with the community. And so we ask you, to consider coming on the show. We will try to make it as unscary as possible. So reach out to us and join in the fun. It's actually really cool. It's not so scary, is it, Ritchie?
It's not. It's really not.
Oh, fabulous. Are there any other questions in the audience? We would love to hear from you. Shoot your comments or questions our way. We have a few more minutes. There is a specific reason why we are rushing the way. We're not, hopefully not rushing, but we're very aware of the time this month. And apart from the fact that we really try to keep this show under an hour, and we managed this month, Ritchie, we did. But it wasn't
somehow first time.
It wasn't without pressure, because if you have been following us and the show, you know that in South Africa there is something like load shedding. They just switch off the power once in a while because there's a bit of an issue with there's just not enough to go around for everyone. And they're doing that to us in exactly 7 minutes. So we needed to make sure that we get wrapped up before that happens. And so this is exactly what we're going to do. There is a comment from Thomas. He says, why you recommend Tri-X from 1600 for landscapes. He likes to shoot with 200, Ritchie. What do you say?
Yeah, so in order to get that real graininess that Tri-X is known for, the ISO needs to be pushed up. It's okay to modify the recipe to season to taste, as I like to call it, to make it work for you. So if ISO 200 works for you, then by all means use ISO 200. But to really get that graininess of Tri-X, I definitely recommend pushing up the ISO to at least 1600 just to get that goodness that recipe can produce.
Yes,
try it is what I would say. Just try it.
Yes, exactly. Just go out and give it your all and push up that ISO and give it a go. And
and go crazy and go to 6400.
Yes.
Like really go wild.
And Usman is saying, I feel like SOC has changed my perception of photography. It simplifies the user experience and really does feel like the digital evolution of film. Fujifilm cameras are really in their own league. What a wonderful way to put it. No. We couldn't agree more. It's fabulous.
Well said.
And then Tarzan Terrier says that all those recipes have exposure settings like 0 to a 3/4 or so on. I'm a little lost.
Okay, so that's the exposure compensation. It's just a suggested starting point. If you shoot in any sort of like semi-auto mode, you have the little exposure comp dial on the top, and you can push that to like plus. Is usually done in thirds, so it'd be like plus 2/3 and not 3/4. But and that's to increase the exposure to make the picture brighter. If you're shooting all manual, then whatever the camera meter is telling you, I'm saying to increase the exposure a little bit to make it brighter. But these aren't hard and fast rules, but more like suggested starting points. And so each picture should be judged individually on what exactly the exposure should be.
Yeah. So you're basically asking the people to over or underexpose this recipe a little bit to get the most out of it, to
Yeah,
get to the look that you really want to achieve.
based on what the camera's meter is telling you. Yeah.
All right. And Björn is saying a question to you, Ritchie. Have you even thought about organizing the settings in the app and website the same order as it is in the camera, or is there a specific reason I'm missing?
So that is coming. I'm working on the next app update. I'm not sure when it'll be out, but hopefully in the next couple weeks. And one of the things is reorganizing the order because it's different on every era of the camera. So X-Trans 2 is different in the order than X-Trans 4. So basically, though, the order is going to hopefully be more user-friendly, intuitive moving forward. So that's coming.
Fabulous. Robert is saying that 250D sounds like a line of Mercedes diesel. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's a long name for a recipe.
Yeah.
Or like a little bra, a bra for elephants. Oh, that's good.
So
I like that one.
So the D is daylight, is what that stands for, and the
Yes.
250 is the ISO.
Yes, exactly. But it could be the cup size. Well, poor elephant, but yeah, it could be.
This is a great question that Warren has here. If you're using it on the X Pro 3 and newer, which has the different options, so I used on my XE4, I use color chrome effect blue off. I use clarity at 0, although I think -2 might look really nice with it. And I also set grain to be small, the grain size is small. But you can choose large if you think that works better for you.
Yes. And then lastly, we have a question from Eva, who's asking if this recipe is only for X-Trans 4 cameras.
It is, unless you have XH1, in which case you can use it, but you have to disregard the color chrome effect.
Yes. So there is a little bit of playing around with, and please experiment. Like Ritchie's saying, nothing is cast in stone. These settings are going to get you closer to what the film looks like, but you're more than welcome to play around with it and try it out, and you never know what you may discover, and share it with us. Share it in the next episode, and yeah, we are looking forward to that. But it is time for us to say thank you to everyone for being with us today, for joining us, and for your awesome comments and being so engaged in this show. It was really wonderful to connect with you. The next show is going to be on the 12th of May, which is in a month's time. And we can't wait to do it all over again. Ritchie, I believe it's time for us to say goodbye.
Yep. Goodbye, everyone out in the audience. Thanks for tuning in and watching. And thanks, Nathalie, for putting this all together and the crew there. And yeah, it's been great.
Fabulous. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ritchie. Thank you for your time. And to the audience, thank you so much for joining us yet again. It has been wonderful. Have a blessed Easter. Shoot pictures and share them with us. I can't wait to connect with you again next month. Up until then, keep well. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.